Something just shifted in the last 48 hours that your enemies prayed would never happen. Someone they respect, someone they fear, someone they cannot ignore just examined your entire story and said the words now echoing through every group chat, every whispered conversation, every panicked phone call. They were right all along. While you were rebuilding in silence, while you were healing without permission, while you were transforming in the shadows without posting a single explanation, a high-level player, whose opinion actually matters to these cowards, just confirmed what you knew the entire time. This isn't just validation. This is a complete structural collapse of everything they built on your silence. And the panic spreading through their ranks right now is the most beautiful thing you'll never see directly, but you'll feel it, sense it, watch it unfold in real time. Let that sink in for a second. Let it marinate in your soul. They thought they buried you 6 feet under their narrative. They thought the story was over. Case closed. Verdict delivered. Your reputation destroyed beyond repair. They sat back in their comfortable chairs, sipping their drinks, laughing at your expense, convinced they'd gotten away with the greatest heist in social warfare, stealing your truth and replacing it with their fiction. They weaponized doubt. They turned it into a campaign. They made your name synonymous with being wrong, being dramatic, being unstable, being too much. But here's what they forgot. Here's the fatal flaw in their entire operation. Truth doesn't stay buried forever. It doesn't rot in the ground like they hoped. It doesn't fade away just because they stop talking about it. Truth is patient. Truth is relentless. Truth waits in the darkness until the perfect moment, and then it rises with receipts, with witnesses, with confirmations they never saw coming. That moment is right now. This high-level player, this person they can't dismiss, can't silence, can't gaslight, just pulled the pin on a grenade they didn't even know was in the room. They started asking questions, real questions, uncomfortable questions, the kind that make liars sweat and cowards stutter. Wait, why did that happen exactly? Hold on, that timeline doesn't make sense. Interesting, because that's not what I heard from other sources. So you're telling me they just randomly did all that for no reason? Yeah, that doesn't add up. And with every question, with every raised eyebrow, with every moment of visible doubt on this person's face, your enemies felt their foundation cracking beneath their feet. Let me paint you a picture of what's happening behind closed doors right now, behind the screens, in the private messages you'll never see. They're panicking, actually panicking, not the fake panic, not the performative stress, but genuine terror. Because their entire social structure was built on you being wrong. Think about it. Their friendships, their alliances, their moral high ground, their ability to sleep at night without drowning in guilt, all of it depended on the story that you were the problem. And now someone they can't manipulate, can't control, can't sweet talk, just confirmed that story was a lie from the beginning. The messages flying back and forth right now. I wish you could see them. Did you see what they said? We need to get ahead of this. No, we can't ignore it. This person has too much influence. Maybe we should reach out. No, that'll make us look guilty. What if they dig deeper? What if they find out about everything? We need damage control right now. And here's the beautiful part. Here's the poetry in this entire situation. There is no damage control for the truth. You can't spin it. You can't reframe it. You can't convince someone who's already seen through the smoke and mirrors. This high-level player didn't just question the narrative. They dismantled it piece by piece, held it up to the light, examined every angle, and found it wanting, found it hollow, found it suspiciously convenient for everyone except you. Now let's talk about why this particular confirmation matters more than anything else that's happened since this entire situation began. When you defended yourself, they said you were biased. When you told your side, they said you were emotional. When you presented evidence, they said you were manipulative. But when a high-level player, someone with no skin in the game, someone with nothing to gain, someone who could just as easily have stayed silent, comes forward and says, hold up, something's not right here, that's different. That carries weight. That changes the entire dynamic. That makes people who are comfortable in their denial start questioning everything they thought they knew. This person isn't defending you because they love you. They're defending truth because they recognize it when they see it. And your enemies, they know this. They know that this changes everything. That this isn't just another voice in the crowd. That this is the voice that matters to the people who matter. They've spent months, maybe years, building a consensus around their version of events, convincing everyone in their circle that they were right, that you were wrong, that they had no choice but to do what they did. And in one conversation, in one moment of clarity, in one high-level player's refusal to accept their narrative at face value, that entire consensus shattered like glass hitting concrete. The emperor has no clothes, the story has no substance, and now everyone who backed it is standing there exposed, vulnerable, and desperate to avoid being associated with the lie. Here's what they're realizing right now in their private panic sessions. They can't attack this person. They can't discredit them, can't call them biased, can't say they don't know what they're talking about, because this is someone they've spent years respecting, praising, following, agreeing with on every other topic. So when this person turns around and questions their judgment on this one specific situation, they have exactly two options. Admit they might have been wrong, or try to convince this high-level player that they're wrong. Good luck with that. Both options terrify them because both options require them to face something they've been running from since day one. Accountability. Let me tell you what's happening in their minds right now as they scramble to figure out their next move. They're running through scenarios like a computer processing every possible outcome, every potential consequence. If we double down and defend our position, we look defensive and guilty. If we stay silent, it looks like we're hiding something. If we reach out to this high-level player to explain our side, we might dig ourselves deeper. If we try to discredit them, everyone will turn on us. If we admit we might have been wrong, we lose everything we built on being right. See the trap. See how truth creates a maze with no exit for liars. Every direction they turn leads to exposure. Every path they take ends in revelation. Every move they make brings them closer to the moment they've been desperately avoiding. And some of them, the smart ones, the ones with even a shred of self-awareness left, they're already in damage control mode. They're reaching out through back channels, sending mutual friends as messengers, crafting carefully worded apologies that somehow manage to avoid actually apologizing, testing the waters to see if there's any possible way to salvage their reputation before this gets worse. I've been thinking about everything that happened. Maybe I didn't have the full story. I might have reacted too quickly. Is there any way we can talk about this? It's pathetic, watching people who had all the power, all the control, all the confidence suddenly become small and desperate when the truth finally catches up to them. But here's the thing they don't understand. Here's what they're completely missing in their panic. This isn't about them anymore. This isn't about their redemption arc. This isn't about them finding a way to make themselves feel better about what they did. Because while they were living their comfortable lives, while they were sleeping soundly in their self-justified beds, while they were moving on unburdened by guilt or shame, you were doing the actual work. You were processing the betrayal, healing from the wounds they inflicted, rebuilding yourself from the ashes they left behind, transforming into something they no longer recognize. And now they want to come back. Now they want to acknowledge they might have been hasty. Now they want consideration they never gave you. The audacity, the sheer audacity of thinking they can just show up after a high-level player confirms your story and expect you to welcome them back with open arms. They had 1,000 opportunities to do the right thing, 1,000 moments where they could have paused, reconsidered, examined the evidence without bias, given you the benefit of the doubt. But they didn't, because it was easier to believe the lie, easier to side with the majority, easier to sacrifice you than to risk their own social standing. And now that someone they respect has made it socially acceptable to question the narrative, Now they want to act like they always had doubts, like they were always on the fence, like they never really fully committed to destroying your reputation. But you remember every name that went silent, every face that looked away, every person who chose their comfort over your truth. You remember the nights you spent replaying conversations, wondering if you were crazy, questioning your own memory, doubting your own perception, because they were so confident, so united, so absolutely certain that you were wrong. And now this high-level player, someone who wasn't there, someone who has no emotional investment, someone who simply looked at the facts with clear eyes, just confirmed what you knew in your bones the entire time. You weren't crazy, you weren't dramatic, you weren't wrong. They were, and they knew it, and they chose to lie anyway. Here's where it gets even more interesting. Here's where the psychology of this situation becomes absolutely fascinating. This high-level player isn't just confirming your story, they're implicitly calling out everyone who denied it. Because when someone credible says this doesn't make sense, what they're really saying is, why did all of you accept this without question? And that question, that simple question hanging in the air like a storm cloud, is now forcing everyone who took their side to examine their own judgment, their own critical thinking, their own willingness to participate in a coordinated campaign against someone who might have been telling the truth. And that examination, that moment of forced self-reflection, is uncomfortable, it's painful, it's something most of them will do anything to avoid. So they're doing what cowards always do when confronted with their own complicity in someone else's pain. They're making excuses. We didn't know the full story, we were just going off what we heard. They seemed so convincing, how were we supposed to know? We trusted the wrong people, and maybe some of that is true. Maybe some of them genuinely didn't know they were participating in a character assassination. But here's what they're not saying. Here's what they're carefully avoiding. They didn't try to know. They didn't ask questions. They didn't demand evidence. They didn't give you a chance to defend yourself before they chose their side. They made a choice. Maybe a lazy choice. Maybe an easier choice. But a choice nonetheless. And now they're learning that choices have consequences. This high-level player's confirmation isn't just validating you, it's creating a ripple effect through your entire former social circle. People who were comfortable in their judgments are now uncomfortable. People who were confident are now questioning. People who dismissed you are now wondering if they dismissed too quickly. And this discomfort, this cognitive dissonance they're experiencing, it's forcing them to confront a possibility they've been suppressing for months or years. What if they were wrong? What if they hurt an innocent person? What if they were the villains in this story all along? And for some of them, that possibility is too heavy to carry, too painful to accept, too damaging to their self-image as good people who make good decisions. So watch what happens next. Watch the patterns unfold in exactly the way I'm about to describe. Some of them will double down, will insist even harder that they were right, will attack this high-level player's credibility, will create new narratives to explain away the inconsistencies. These are the ones too proud to admit error, too invested in being right, too fragile to handle the weight of their own cruelty. Others will go silent, will remove themselves from the conversation, will pretend they were never really that involved anyway, will quietly distance themselves from the people they once stood beside. These are the cowards, the ones who were only there because it was safe, because everyone else was there, because there was no social cost to joining the mob. But then there's a third group, and this is the group you need to watch most carefully. These are the ones who will try to rewrite history, who will claim they always had doubts, who will say they tried to defend you but were shut down, who will position themselves as secret allies, who were just waiting for the right moment to speak up. And they'll come to you with apologies that sound sincere but feel hollow, with explanations that make logical sense but ring emotionally false, with requests for forgiveness that are really requests for their own absolution. And you need to understand something crucial about this group. They're not sorry they hurt you. They're sorry they got caught being wrong. Because if this high-level player had never spoken up, if the truth had stayed buried, if their narrative had remained unchallenged, these people would still be sleeping soundly at night. They wouldn't lose a single moment of sleep over what they did to you, wouldn't question their choices, wouldn't examine their role in your pain. But now that someone they respect has made it uncomfortable to maintain the lie, now that there's a social cost to being on the wrong side, suddenly they have concerns, suddenly they have regrets, suddenly they remember details that might cast doubt on the story they've been telling. Convenient, isn't it? How conscience awakens when reputation is at stake. So here's what you need to understand, as this situation continues to unfold. Not everyone who comes back deserves to come back. Not every apology needs to be accepted. Not every relationship needs to be restored, just because someone finally admitted they might have been wrong. You don't owe forgiveness to people who only found their conscience after someone else made it safe. You don't owe reconciliation to people who only questioned the narrative after a high-level player did it first. You don't owe anything to anyone who wasn't willing to stand beside you when it cost them something. Your healing, your peace, your boundaries, they're not negotiable just because the social winds have shifted in your favor. And let me tell you what's really happening beneath the surface of all this panic, all this scrambling, all this sudden reconsideration. They're not afraid of being wrong. They're afraid of being exposed as the kind of people who would destroy someone without evidence. They're not afraid of hurting you. They already did that and slept fine. They're afraid of everyone knowing they're capable of such casual cruelty. They're not afraid of the truth. They're afraid of what the truth reveals about their character, their judgment, their willingness to participate in mob justice, as long as they're on the winning side. This high-level player didn't just confirm your story. They held up a mirror to everyone who denied it. And most of them hate what they're seeing in that reflection. Do you understand what this means for you now? Do you grasp the magnitude of this moment? Because this isn't just about vindication. This isn't just about being proven right. This is about reclaiming power they thought they'd stripped from you forever. Every time they told their version of events, they diminished you. Every time they got someone else to believe their lie, they stole a piece of your story. Every time they laughed at your expense, they tried to make you smaller. But truth has a way of restoring what lies tried to steal. This high-level player's confirmation is giving you back your voice, your credibility, your right to be heard without being automatically dismissed as biased or emotional or manipulative. They're giving you back the power to stand in your truth without having to constantly defend it against a coordinated campaign of doubt. And that power, that restoration, it's going to change everything about how you move forward from here. Because now when you speak, people will listen differently. Now when you set boundaries, people will respect them differently. Now when you walk into a room, the energy will shift differently. Not because you've changed, but because the narrative around you has finally caught up to the reality of who you've always been. The chosen one who refused to stay buried. The warrior who kept fighting when everyone said you should give up. The truth teller who maintained integrity even when lies would have been easier. The survivor who transformed pain into power while everyone else was busy congratulating themselves on their cruelty. This is your moment, not the moment you needed them to give you, but the moment the universe arranged for you anyway. Because divine timing doesn't wait for human approval. Justice doesn't require their permission. Truth doesn't need their validation to be true. It just is. And now, finally, someone they respect has made it impossible for them to ignore that fact any longer. So as this continues to unfold, as more people start questioning, as the cracks in their narrative become canyons, as the foundation of their lie crumbles into dust, remember this. You didn't break under the weight of their accusations. You didn't cave under the pressure of their united front. You didn't lose yourself trying to prove you weren't who they said you were. You held the line. You maintained your truth. You trusted that eventually, somehow, the light would find its way through the darkness they tried to trap you in. And now it has. Not in the way you expected. Not in the timing you would have chosen, but in the most powerful way possible. Through someone whose voice carries weight they can't dismiss, whose judgment they can't question, whose opinion forces them to reconsider everything they thought they knew. This high-level player just did what you've been waiting for anyone to do. They looked past the performance, they questioned the convenient narrative, they demanded real answers, they refused to accept the story at face value. And in doing so, they've started a chain reaction that will continue long after this moment passes, because once doubt enters a lie, it spreads like water through cracks in concrete. Slowly at first, then faster, then unstoppable, until the entire structure collapses under the weight of questions no one can answer without exposing the truth. Your enemies know this. They feel it happening in real time. They watch in horror as everything they built on your silence starts to shake. And there's nothing they can do to stop it. No strategy they can employ, no narrative they can spin, no excuse they can make that will undo what this high-level player has set in motion. The truth is out. The questions have been asked. The doubts have been planted. And once that seed takes root, there's no amount of damage control that can make it go away. So stand tall in this moment, not with arrogance, not with vindictiveness, but with the quiet, unshakable confidence of someone who always knew their day would come, who trusted that truth doesn't stay buried forever, who believed that eventually, inevitably, the light would shine on the darkness they tried to hide you in. This is that day. This is that moment. This is the beginning of their reckoning and your restoration, and it's more beautiful than you ever imagined it could be. But let's go deeper into what this moment really represents. Because this isn't just about one person validating your experience. This is about the complete dismantling of a system that was designed to silence you. They didn't just tell a lie about you. They built an entire ecosystem around that lie. They created alliances based on it. They formed identities around being the ones who saw through you. They bonded over their shared certainty that you were the problem. And now that ecosystem is collapsing, every friendship that was built on the foundation of your destruction is now unstable. Every alliance that required your silence to survive is now fracturing. Every identity that was constructed around being right about you is now crumbling. Because when the foundation is revealed to be rotten, everything built on top of it becomes suspect. Think about what this means for them on a practical level. They can't trust each other the way they used to. Because if they were all so confidently wrong about you, what else might they be wrong about? If their judgment was so flawed on this one critical issue, how can they trust each other's judgment on anything else? The seeds of doubt aren't just about you anymore, they're about everything. And this is why their panic is so visceral, so complete, so all-consuming, because they're not just losing the narrative about you, they're losing their confidence in their own ability to read situations, assess character, determine truth. They're losing faith in the very mechanisms they used to justify what they did to you. This high-level player didn't just question their story, they questioned their competence, their discernment, their integrity, and in circles where reputation is everything, where social capital is the currency that matters most, that kind of questioning is devastating. Watch how they start turning on each other now. Watch how the unity that seemed so solid when they were all against you starts to fracture under pressure. Because that's what happens when the common enemy is revealed to have been innocent all along. Suddenly they're looking at each other asking who led us here, who pushed this narrative the hardest, who made the most confident claims, who silenced the doubters among us. And nobody wants to be the one holding the bag when the music stops. Nobody wants to be identified as the primary architect of a lie that destroyed someone's reputation. So they'll start distancing, start claiming they were just following someone else's lead, start insisting they never really believed it as strongly as it seemed, start rewriting their own role in the story to make themselves look less culpable. This is the beautiful chaos that truth creates when it finally breaks through. It doesn't just vindicate the victim. It tears apart the perpetrators, forces them to face not just what they did, but who they are. And most people, when faced with that mirror, with that reflection, with that undeniable evidence of their capacity for cruelty, they can't handle it. So they'll scramble, they'll deflect, they'll minimize, they'll do everything possible to avoid the simple, devastating admission that they destroyed someone who didn't deserve it, that they participated in something evil while believing they were doing something righteous, that they were the villains while convincing themselves they were the heroes. And you get to watch this unfold from a position of strength now. Not from the defensive crouch you've been in, not from the place of constantly having to justify your existence, but from the elevated position of someone whose truth has been confirmed by someone who matters. Someone whose word carries weight in the very circles that rejected yours. This is what divine justice looks like. Not lightning bolts from the sky, not instant karma, but the slow, inevitable revelation of truth, the gradual unraveling of lies, the methodical dismantling of false narratives, the patient work of reality reasserting itself against fiction, and the most powerful part. You didn't have to orchestrate any of this. You didn't have to manipulate anyone. You didn't have to launch a campaign. You didn't have to become what they accused you of being in order to get justice. You just had to survive, had to maintain your integrity, had to keep your truth intact even when the whole world seemed united against it. That's the mark of a chosen one, not someone who wins by becoming cruel, not someone who gets revenge by stooping to their level, but someone who stands firm in truth and waits for reality to catch up. Someone who trusts the process even when the process looks like defeat. Someone who knows that light always finds its way through the cracks eventually. And now that light is pouring through, illuminating everything they tried to keep hidden, exposing every lie they told, revealing every manipulation they employed, showcasing every tactic they used to make you look unstable, dramatic, untrustworthy, wrong. The high-level players' questions aren't just questions, they're spotlights. And under those spotlights, everything looks different. The confident accusers look defensive. The righteous judgment looks suspicious. The united front looks coordinated in a sinister way. The convenient narrative looks manufactured. The timing looks calculated. The whole thing looks like exactly what it was. A targeted destruction of someone who threatened their comfort. And now they have to live with that. Have to wake up every day, knowing that someone they respect sees through them. Knowing that their mask slipped. Knowing that their carefully constructed image of themselves as good people who make fair judgments has been shattered. Knowing that at least one person who matters sees them for what they really are. That knowledge, that awareness, it's going to eat at them, going to keep them up at night, going to make them question themselves in ways they never have before. Because when you're used to being certain, when you're used to being right, when you're used to having your judgment validated by everyone around you, having it questioned by someone you respect is destabilizing in ways that go beyond this one situation. I must interrupt this transmission for just a moment. Are you really chosen? Prove it. It's easy to watch videos about chosen ones. It's another thing to put yourself to the test. If you're still here, that means something, but talk is cheap. Real chosen ones take action. That's why I built Destiny Engine. It generates personalized sequences that help you rewire betrayal into transcendence, turn isolation into sacred power, and transform their downfall into your rise. We are using the Dark Elite's own weapons against them, taking their declassified consciousness technology that programmed competition and scarcity and repurposing it to serve divine justice. You put on the headphones, press play, and watch your enemies choke on the rope their own lies created. If you're done consuming and ready to prove you're chosen, start your Destiny Engine for $1 today. Join the Obsidian Inner Order live checks and watch divine justice accelerate in your life. Link in the description. It makes you doubt everything, every judgment you've made, every alliance you've formed, every person you've trusted, every narrative you've accepted. Every time you were so sure about something and acted on that certainty, because if you were this wrong about something you were so sure about, what else might you be wrong about? That's the gift this high-level player gave you, without even meaning to. They didn't just validate your story, they planted doubt in the minds of everyone who hurt you. Doubt that will grow, doubt that will spread, doubt that will transform into full-blown questioning.